Some of you didn't forgive, you adapted. You found a way to keep functioning without resolving what happened. And because you kept moving, you called that healing. But your system never agreed, because if it had, you wouldn't still organize yourself around it. Not in your reactions, not in your expectations, not in your relationships, not in the way your body prepares before something even happens. So let's be precise. You're not dealing with a memory. You're dealing with an active internal reference point that is still shaping how you interpret the present. And until that changes, the past is not past, it's pattern. Thought I moved on. I don't even think about it like that anymore. I'm not mad. You may not be thinking about it in the same way, but your system is still using it. And that distinction matters. You can think something is resolved. You can say something is resolved. But if your body, your reactions, your decisions are still organized by it, then the work is not complete. And we are not here for partial alignment. We are here for congruence. So this is not a conversation about saying the right words. This is a conversation about structure, about how experiences become internal weight, how that weight shapes your perception, your behavior, your relationships, and eventually your identity. And if you misunderstand that, you'll keep trying to solve something structural with something verbal, and that will not work. Most people think they're carrying an event. You're not. You're carrying the emotional charge, the meaning you made, the identity you formed, the protective patterns you built, and the expectations that followed. The event is over. The structure it created may not be. And if you try to forgive the event without addressing the structure, nothing changes. Memory is not just information. It is stored as a network, emotion, sensation, belief, expectation. So when something reminds you, you don't just remember, you re-enter. And your body doesn't organize around time. It organizes around activation. So if the activation is still there, your system treats it like it's still relevant. Not because you're stuck, because it's unfinished. So now we tell the truth. What is actually influencing you? Not what sounds good, not what you've been saying. What is actually active? Because without that, everything becomes performance. Forgiveness is not something you say. Forgiveness is when an experience loses its organizing power over your system. It no longer dictates your reactions. It no longer defines your expectations. It no longer shapes how you show up. You may remember it, but you're no longer organized by it. That only happens through integration, where your mind understands, your emotions are processed, your body settles, your meaning updates, and your behavior begins to shift. Not perfectly, but coherently. So now the question becomes, if forgiveness is structural, what keeps the structure in place? 3 things that keep it in place. It wasn't fully processed. The meaning never changed, and your identity adapted around it. Let's slow down on the last one, because this is where it gets real. If I let this go, who am I? If I'm not that version of myself anymore, then what am I? That's not weakness. That's identity tension, because identity is constructed and painful experiences organize it. So forgiveness doesn't just release emotion. It disrupts identity. You don't have one voice. You have a system. Parts of you that feel different things at the same time. One part says, I'm done. Another says, stay alert. Another says, be mature. Another says, don't trust this again. So when you say, I forgive, which part said that? Forgiveness requires leadership, not forcing agreement, creating alignment, acknowledging each part, understanding its role, integrating it, not silencing it. That conflict you feel, that's not confusion. That's unintegrated parts. What you call holding on is often protection, hyper-awareness, distance, control, quick forgiveness, delayed trust. These are not random. They are responses. And if you try to remove them without replacing their function, your system resists because those patterns were trying to protect you. But here's the problem. They also shape your direction, who you choose, what you tolerate, how you respond. So this is not just about the past. This is about trajectory. Let's be clear. Forgiveness is internal. Reconciliation is relational. Access is a decision. They are not the same. You can release something and still choose distance. You can understand something and still not allow access. You can have peace without proximity. Forgiveness does not decide access. Discernment does. Processing requires capacity, and you don't always have it. So sometimes your system stores it. Then later, when you're more stable, it comes back. This is coming back up. No, this is becoming available. And this is where devotion matters. You return to the work when your system is ready. Because what you've been calling inconsistency might actually be timing. You recognize what's active. You allow it. You process it. You update meaning. Your system settles. Your behavior shifts. You organize differently. That's forgiveness. You are not someone who cannot forgive. You are someone whose system adapted and hasn't fully reorganized yet. That's different. And that gives you a path. You're not erasing the past. You're deciding who you become in relation to it. Real. You tell the truth. Family. You lead your internal system. Think it, speak it, do it. You align. IDC. You choose intentionally. Devotion. You return. Integration. You stabilize. Trajectory. You change direction. Identity. You become differently. Forgiveness is not removing memory. It's removing control. If it's still active, it's not failure. It's unfinished. You're not behind. You're reorganizing. This is structural work. And if you stay with this, your life changes at a level most people never reach. Understanding your psychology matters. It helps you understand the patterns shaping your life. Understand clearly. Integrate deeply. Grow yourself great.